Hi everyone. If you're there, let me know. Looks like we have some people coming on. This is our next edition of Wildlife Wednesday, Earth Day, 50th anniversary. Hi everyone. Hello. So I wanted to start by talking about our mission. Okay, this is on our wall in the Wildlife Department. And it is Earth Day, but our mission, which is to create a more humane community through education, rescuing, protecting, and enhancing the lives of animals and nurturing the bond between animals and people. That really does connect with Earth Day, because Earth Day is all about realizing our connections, how what we do makes a difference and can affect the ecosystem, the environment, and therefore the wild animals that are part of it. But what's more, this is our vision. We envision a community where animals are treated with compassion and respect. And that compassion aspect of that is really important. This is a compassion movement. And what does that mean? So happy Earth Day, everyone. And I wanted to talk, first get back to Earth Day, right? So Earth Day, and I wrote a few notes just so I would remember. The theme of Earth Day this year is climate action. So action. So taking action so that we can because climate affects the life support systems that make the world better for us, for humans. So it's important to look at all the little actions that we can do to help our planet to be able to sustain us, right? The planet will go on. The planet, when I started in this, I mentioned my last video that I got my environmental studies degree back in the 80s. I know it seems so long ago. But back then, we knew that climate affected us. But, I remember thinking, I want to save the earth back when I was younger. Well, guess what? The earth doesn't need saving. The earth is going to go on and on and on. I think really what needs to happen is we need some saving. And that's where the compassion movement comes in. That's where our vision comes in about compassion and respect and respecting animals and therefore respecting people. This has been some trying times. We can't deny that we're in a very interesting time. And my next video, when you come in, I'm going to walk around the entire SPCA and show you how things are, how we're doing it, how are we handling it. We are essential, and at 10:50, I'm going to talk specifically about the SPCA and what we do. But this one I wanted to talk about our mission and how our mission relates to Earth Day and relates to how we interact on our planet, and what is a compassion movement. And especially during these times, I think we're finding that a lot of times our emotions can get the best of us. But I think what I've learned teaching compassion and kindness is that we can't have compassion and kindness from any other place than a place of calm. And so when sometimes I work with wild animals and I'll bring them out for kids to see, and I always talk to them about how when I bring this wild animal out, it might freak out. It's a wild animal. And if something is freaking out, if an animal is freaking out, let's say, do you think you should freak out? What would help the animal? The kids will say, we need to be calm. And I'm like, that's right. Well, how are you calm? Well, I think some of the things that we should be teaching our kids, especially now, might be, what are the techniques for finding your calm? And I have a real easy way to do that I teach when I'm out there. I call it a 3-2-1, and you might be able to take advantage of this during this time. But the first thing to do is 3, right? 3, find find your seat or find your feet. Find yourself connected to the ground. Where's the ground? How are you feeling on the ground? Feel your feet. The second thing is find your quiet. Quiet your body. Stop fidgeting. Quiet your mouth. And quiet your mind. And then take a deep breath. And from there comes compassion. Comes kindness. So we talk a lot about compassion and kindness and how can we make the world a more kind place, but it starts from ourselves and being calm, and only from that place of calm can we be compassionate and kind. So I wanted to remind you all on this wonderful day of Earth Day, a call to action, right? Sometimes we get nervous when we start thinking of the state of the environment or the state of our world. But really, if you just come into the present moment, you'll realize that you're okay, right? So, the climate action was the theme, and I did talk a little bit about that. So we're not even trying, and we're doing great things for the climate, aren't we, right? Nobody's out in airplanes. We're driving less. Have you seen the sunsets? Absolutely stunning. The air quality is amazing right now. But what can we learn from this? What's interesting about this time is we are all focused on one thing. We are coming together as humans and focused on one thing. How amazing, what power we have, and how can we use that, right? So carry on with what you're doing. Think about the choices that you make. And I want to talk to you about what we do. Okay, so in the wildlife department, real quickly, I want to give you a synopsis of what we do regularly, right? Things have changed a little bit, and on the next 50th anniversary, so at 10:50 I'll talk about the SPCA, but let me tell you what we have done. In the wildlife department, we attend to sick, injured, and orphaned wild animals. We take in approximately 3,500 wild animals a year that are sick, injured, or orphaned. And why we do that is because we believe in that compassion movement. So there's a micro reason why we do it and a macro reason why we do it, right? Somebody finds an animal that's sick or injured in their yard. A robin, a woodchuck. We take in, by the way, 100 different species, right? All the local wildlife. And a lot of times, if you go to look up Earth Day, you're going to see tigers and lions and all sorts of things. Well, when we think of our local environment, we think of woodchucks or those animals. Well, we attend to those animals. We're here providing a wildlife hospital for those animals. And by the way, Western New York, this is very unique. There are not too many SPCAs that have a wildlife hospital as part of what they do. And we do, thanks to people like you. Thank you, Western New York. So generally, we take in about 3,500 animals and all sorts of injuries. But I will tell you, of all the injuries and illnesses of wildlife that come to our hospital, many, if not all, are human caused. So we feel that we're doing something for the environment as a whole by educating people about things like rodenticide, like glue traps, like using lead. When we can decrease those things, we can decrease the negative impacts that those things have on wildlife. Many waterfowl and birds of prey are susceptible to lead. And there are alternatives, and can we use those alternatives? And again, remember like I said earlier, it's small steps, taking small steps toward a common goal. And in this case, our common goal is to care about wild animals. That's our goal here at the Wildlife Hospital at the SPCA. So on a micro level, when you come in with that sick or injured animal, we want to take a point of acknowledging what a kind thing you've done by seeing an animal that's suffering and bringing it to us to be attended to be treated. That's really kind, and we want to grow people's hearts. So we want to be there for you when you're seeing an animal suffer. On a macro level, we want people to start to make connections about what they do and how they can affect their environment. So we're here on a couple of different levels, both rescuing wildlife and educating the community about what they can do to decrease their effects on wildlife. Now, if you want to learn more, we actually set up a website, yourspca.org/Earth Day 2020. I encourage you to come. We do so much here at the SPCA to serve the community, and we're always looking at ways that we can do that, but to serve the animals of our community, and boy, are we doing that now in the midst of this pandemic. We're still here, and we're still able to attend to the emergencies of the animals in our community, thankfully. And we're honored to do that. And I'm just so grateful to Western New York. So come back at 10:50, and I'm going to take you on a tour of the SPCA and kind of show you how we're doing things now, what's happening. So I will see you then. Take care, everyone. It's a wonderful Wildlife Wednesday, Earth Day, 50th anniversary. Bye, everyone.